Just like how the finals will always be in Stargazer. We've already been in Stargazer once. Gaming, your match against me was actually in Stargazer Coliseum. Right, second match in Group C, Sander versus Shadow. Sander with a very interesting team using all weather effects. Hippopotas with a bit of a combo potential with their Gibble due to Sandstream and Sandveil if they happen to be in the field at the same time. And there's a bit of a rain strategy in the second half of Shadow's team. Which, the way I look at it, it can be pretty inconsistent. Like, if you can even use it, one big move to kill either Parasect or Toxic, whichever one's on the field with Koger, and the strategy's done. Like, the part that you can control anyway.
Both corners are full of energy, so
but if they stay on the field together for a while, it can be really good. Because I've said before, something like Ingrain or Aqua Ring, which allows you to heal 1/16 of your max health every turn, can be really good, because the average damage dealt per turn isn't too high in the Metronome battle. Both Toxicroak and Parasect have Rain Dish as their ability, which not only makes them immune to water moves, but also it heals them for 1/8 of their max HP every turn. So the amount of damage you take every turn from a burn or a poison, you heal that every turn. That is huge. If that can be set up, that's Shadow's win condition, I feel like. Sure, there's other things that help. Staravia's Intimidate. The fact that Ghastly's a ghost, it can resist a lot of moves. Bronzer's defenses. But Rain Dish is, I think, key to their strategy. There are 4 teams, though. 4 teams with Sandstorm in it. And every group has one of them. One of those teams is Sander, who also has Rain and then Sun. So assuming the Kyogre on Shadow side comes out before the final Pokemon on Sander's side, then Sander can replace that with Sun. And then that's not good, because then Rain Dish isn't applied. Not sure if they actually take damage in Sun. I know Pokemon with Rain Dish take more damage from fire moves. The Parasite was already super weak to fire anyway.
It's pouring rain in the Coliseum. I wonder how this is going to
Let's
affect
see.
the battle.
We were testing the waters of how the finale would be. Hope the individual video between our match will be in a time when I can watch them. Yeah, let's see. It was the first match in Group B. So, from the top of my head, quick calculation, that'd be the 14th of November. So, 14th of November. So, you might have noticed, in terms of what's already scheduled on my channel at the moment, which is going to look weird for people that are looking at it now, like watching this video live, but talking to the live stream chat, I've scheduled, I think, up to November 8th, because this live stream is happening on the 2nd. Then I have a gap for 4 videos in between, on the 10th, 12th, 14th, 16th. Then I have something scheduled for the 18th. Then I have an open spot on 2022, 24, 26. Then I think it's your video, like your team request. Then I'm gonna do another 4 for the tournament. Then probably something else, and then we'll see from there. And there's a Battle Revolution. I feel like 4 matches and then 1 other thing is a good way to go. And then on those in-between days, I still have a few videos that I want to do. The partner takeover, I never finished all of the highlight videos from all the streams, so that's something I still intend to do before I go on my trip in just under 1.5 months. Ooh, crit Shadow Ball. That has a lot of effect. On has no effect. And Sandstorm is active now, so it's a bit of extra damage. Solar Beam. Yeah, not a lot of damage. It's a Bronzor.
Staravia is sent out. In terms of the number of remaining Pokemon, it's an even 50-50. Who will become the victor?
Might be good that rollout missed, because that was going to deal very little damage to Bronzor anyway. Fissure!
The move can't hit the
30%
opponent.
chance because they're all the same level. Didn't work him. Not sure if Sandvale even affects it, because it doesn't use a standard accuracy calculation.
A light hit.
We've seen Fling quite a few times already this tournament. Perish Song quite a lot as well. 30 Toxic Spikes. Frustration, that's a big move.
It's being ganged up on.
Does pretty good damage. See, in Sun... during harsh sunlight, Pokemon with dry skin will lose 1/8 of their max HP at the end of the turn. So who sends out their final Pokemon first, and therefore who sends them out last, is going to be huge for this tournament. If the Kyogre on Shadow side is the last Pokemon sent out, they might be okay. If Groudon's last, they're in trouble. If Groudon's on the field against Toxicroak and Parasect, it'll damage both of them for a long time. So if they stall taking them both out and just evenly damage them both,
Something strange. Distortion.
that can be big as well before Kyogre comes in and resets the sun. Shadow currently leading, but not by much. Hail's gonna damage everything except Snover. Perish Song! Another one! 4th match with Perish Song, or 5th. Almost every match has had a Perish Song so far. Roleplay. Okay, I guess they get one Levitate over Sandvale, because there's not going to be another Sandstorm, so it makes sense. Fuzzle Array on the Snover. So 3 Pokemon with Hail damage, and then 4 Pokemon with the Perish Song animation. These next few turns could take a while.
Both corners still have a chance to win this.
Would all
What kind
4 of these
developments
Pokemon go
can we
down
expect
at the
to see
same
next?
time, it would be a 3-2 lead for Shadow. At that point, they would have both Toxicroak and Parasect out, so the 2 Pokemon with Dry Skin. Kyogre, I think, is faster than Groudon, I believe. So Drizzle would activate first, then Draught, which would mean it's bad for Dry Skin Pokemon. Toxicroak and Parasect. So one of them, at that point Shadow wants one of them to go down early, which would seem weird, but that way they can reset it to Rain with their own Kyogre, who's the final Pokemon on their team, so that the Dry Skin will actually heal whatever of Parasect and Toxicroak remains. Yeah, Sky Attack for Bronzor.
The count of Perish Song falls by 1.
Because Perish Song is active, it doesn't matter too much
Special attack fell.
what damage is dealt unless the Pokemon is KO'd, because at that point you can start damaging the next Pokemon. Now if it's a Pokemon on Shadow side that would go down before the Perish Song hits 1,
Attack rose.
then Hail can still damage them.
Snover.
The other way around, it actually would stop Hail. Here's Sky Attack on Snover.
Sky attack rains down.
There's the KO.
It's down.
But that's going to set up a new weather. And it's going to send in a really big Pokemon. And this actually ensures that Sun will be active on the dry skin Pokemon. If it wasn't already, because I'm pretty sure Kyogre's faster than Groudon anyway.
Taken out by the
Although we get one turn of dry skin healing, I guess. If they even get damaged. Staravia still at 1 for Parasong. Gible will go down next turn too. It survived. It outlived both Hippopotas and Snover that came out after it. Alright, Sea Demon on one side. Parasite on the other. Still a lead for Shadow. Shadow will want to damage the Kyogre.
Parasect is sent out.
And meanwhile, Sander will want to start damaging Parasect, but once Toxicroak is out and the Sun is out, they want to actually use the Dry Skin ability and damage them evenly. Maybe take both of them out at the same time. What's Kyogre gonna do?
Kyogre uses
Lucky Chant, okay, stops crits for a few turns. That could be important. Like, we saw how important the crit was in the last match with the Fire Blast from Dialga.
Staravia.
Milk Drink, that is completely useless because you're gonna go down to Parasong. Unless Whirlwind happens, that's not gonna happen. Like, Whirlwind now would be real good on Staravia, or U-turn from Gible, because that just makes the Gible survive. Puts it at the back of the line. Bit of damage on Parasite, so you'll see that the Dry Skin can heal here. 1/8 of its max health. But now Staravia and Gible are gonna go down. And this is the one thing, like, outside of Sand and Hail that's already bad, Shadow wanted to not face any of those. But they really didn't want to face Sun. And I'm pretty sure the only team with a Groudon is in his group. So what Shadow actually wants, and again this sounds really weird, is that one of his Pokemon, Toxicroak or Parasect, goes down ASAP. Because the earlier one of their own Pokemon goes down, the earlier they send in Kyogre, make it rain. Sure, then it's 2-2 instead of 3-2 lead, but then at least they don't take 1/8 of their damage every turn. The healing from rain on Dry Skin is super big, but so is the damage. It's very likely the next KO is going to fall on Shadow's side. And that's not even looking at the fact that it's much higher base outdoors. U-turn, that's super effective. A lot of damage, not quite a 1/8 remaining. But if Sea Demon hits Parasect as well, it does, and starting to spread it out. Because now you're going to see that damage from Sun. I've not actually seen this before. Actually, after... No, of course, the Parasect and Toxicroak still have to move. Just deal damage. Honestly, Shadow wants Parasect to use Lunar Dance at this point, or Healing Wish. To reset the rain to help Toxicroak. Super Fang, no, that's fine. They're going to be fine with that. That's big damage on Kyogre that they can use later. Very big damage. Yeah, that crit Fire Blast last match was awesome, Jared. Especially for you. There's the big damage from Dry Skin. That's going to take out Parasite next turn. So, Sander wants to attack Toxicroak. Poison Gas. Yeah, it didn't work. They want to hit Toxicroak. Because Parasite will go down at the end of the turn. Refresh doesn't apply. Okay, in that case, Parasite goes down. Toxicroak doesn't have that much damage on it. A bit more due to Brave Bird. They probably want to hit... No, Kyogre's a little lower on health now. They're both decently damaged. But, assuming Toxicroak doesn't get hit by any big moves the next 2-3 turns, it'll be back to full health in no time due to Kyogre coming out. That's going to deal nothing. Even with the Sun Boost. Kyogre on Shadow side is the last one to be sent out. That way it actually has a chance. If the Kyogre on Shadow side would have been sent out before Sander's Groudon, it's not over because it's a Metronome battle, but that would have been so difficult. Now here comes the strategy with Dry Skin. Every turn, a 1/8 of max health heal on Toxicroak. No extra things on Kyogre, it just has to use big base stats from being a legendary. The Toxicroak can keep healing itself. That's the key to the strategy, I feel like. In terms of base stat totals, advantage is on Sander's side. However, their Pokemon have been damaged more. Discharge. Doesn't affect Groudon, affects the other two. Especially the Kyogre. Is there going to be a paralysis? That's big damage still on Toxicroak, even not being super effective. There is the paralysis. Well, it was going to go last anyway. Yeah, a dry skin KO. I wonder if there's a line for that. It would be not common at all. Very situational. The turn is going to deal no damage because the Pokemon are at 0 friendship. I was considering putting them a bit higher, like either not halfway, maybe like the 70. Which I think is the base on some catches. Look at this healing. As long as there's no big damage, I can discharge every turn. The healing will usually outdo the damage dealt. Croak's gonna go last. Might even be paralyzed. Like fully paralyzed on a turn. What if that's on Toxicroak? That's another 25% heal. It takes extra damage, 25% more from fire moves, such as Fire Punch. But it heals like that from water moves, which can be really nice. Scary phase, lowering the speed even more of Toxicroak, because it's going to go last anyway. There is a rare announcer message for being taken out by Dry Skin specifically. Not even just, oh, their own ability is Dry Skin. I'd be interested in that, but we're not going to hear it. I might have to just test that in just the off-stream battle, just so I can hear it. Have it be a single battle, just be Groudon against Parasect and see where it goes. I really like the shiny on Golden Bro. There's a Flash Gun on Kyogre, doesn't do too much damage. Sander probably wants to focus on Toxicroak and actually KO it. If it doesn't fully focus on Toxicroak, they should fully focus on Kyogre, because only a little occasional hit on Toxicroak, it's going to heal that off anyway. They need to full focus on it, or completely ignore it until it's a 2v1 scenario. Because at that point, they have a higher chance of hitting it hard. Fully paralyzed, but it does get the heal. Remember how it got hit by Discharge and it was at around a quarter of its health? It's already over 75% again, while being paralyzed. So as long as there's only small hits at maximum, advantage Shadow because of the healing. And unless someone uses Sunny Day Sandstorm or Hail at this point, the rain is to stay.
It didn't do anything.
So with the higher base stat totals on Sander's side, but Shadow having the healing, what big move is going to end it? Or what combination of moves? There's a bit of an increase in stats on Sander's Kyogre. Pro gets a move. Air Slash.
A small hit.
Lower Sea Demon a bit more. It's lower health than Groudon is, and Croak is nearly at max health. That is the power of Dry Skin under rain. And I don't think there's any weather on the other two teams in either Jared or Mr. Torque. So that has a higher chance of that strategy working in Shadow's favor. So if they can win this fight, the fight that had the Sandstorm, that had the Hill, that had the Sun, then I'd say Shadow is outside of just having one. They have a really good chance of going far in the tournament, because I feel like Drizzle plus Rain Dish is a really good strategy. If there was another Pokemon Drizzle, they probably would have had, like, let's say Politoed or Pelipper that now know Drizzle in later gens. They probably would have had that on their team. Oh no, you damaged me? Okay, full health. Because at that point they would have had the Dry Skin plus Drizzle strategy later. Oh, and that's going to be struggle. Bit of damage dealt every turn. I believe it's base 50 power struggle. Typeless physical. But it's going to deal 25% of its max HP back. So it's not just going to be Sander's Kyogre at low health here. crit! Kyogre's down. 2-1 lead with Toxicroak still alive.
It went down.
But Sunny Day is not looking too good. Advantage Shadow. Kyogre's on low health. If Groudon can manage that... Like if Groudon uses Earthquake, this is over. Psycho Shift. That puts a paralysis on Groudon.
Ouch. It was paralyzed.
Wait, that transfers it away from Toxicroak as well.
The blue corner stands with
Oh, that's big.
Groudon will be lucky to get through this crisis.
Kyogre's going to take itself out with struggle here. But not before dealing a bit more damage to Groudon. Toxicroak has max health, is now not paralyzed anymore, and is up against, like, a quarter, an eighth of its max health Groudon. That's paralyzed, that doesn't have a healing move active. Not even Ingrain or Aqua Ring. Flame Wheel. Lower power due to Drizzle, but it's a bit of damage, they just need to keep chipping away at it. And as long as Groudon doesn't have a big move back, or multiple decently big moves, it's not gonna work, but something like Fire Punch, something like Earthquake, Psychic, could instantly change it. It is a 1v1 scenario. Frozen solid! And I believe Freeze means a 20% to get out of it at any point. So unless, like, assuming they don't unfreeze, they don't defrost the next few turns, they need... Oh, they already thought up. They would have needed to just have Groudon not deal big damage, or be fully paralyzed. Feint Attack, bit more damage. A little more than the Flame Wheel from last turn. Not quite enough. They need one more of those hits. Groudon, are you going to do it? Not fully paralyzed. This one's close. It's Twister. That's just a little damage. Nope. Actually, pretty good hit in terms of damage output. But the rain heals back. But, like, any damage is good damage at this point, because that's damage you have to deal next turn. 4 HP left. Toxicroak, is this the finisher? Does Shadow get his win against Sander? Is it gonna be two? It's gonna be 2 1-0s probably anyway, unless there's a self-destruct. Just make sure it gets a full health. All right, fully paralyzed in that team. On that side with Groudon. They just need one little hit. The only damaging move that's not gonna take him out at this point is Ring Out. Bide. Oh, you want to finish off a 4 HP Groudon with Bide? Okay, so they actually want Groudon to deal a 2 HP minimum hit. Well, Groudon needs to now either KO Toxicroak or don't deal damage. They need down to its Stomp. That's not going to be enough. If this doesn't KO, it's over. Yeah, that wasn't going to be a crit. Now Bide will go off. I think Toxicroak and Shadow have it. Unleash the energy. The dry skin reactivated quickly enough. The strategy ended up working even against a team that ended it with Sun. Shadow wins 1-0. That was an exciting match. A strategy that focuses on Rain being active and really doesn't like Sun being active against a team that has all weather effects, including Sun at the end. The Shadow and Jared both barely win, both 1-0. It's very close in this group. Mr. Torque and Sander will have to do some stuff, get back into the winning ways next time. Bide can be a cool move, and with the little bits of damage that are dealt, or medium bits of damage at most throughout most of Metronome battles. Yeah, Bide can be really good if you're at high health starting.